correct with this. Okay, so last time we already had our discussion on the sampling distribution, no? So especially on the central limit theorem, no, which is one of the most important theorem pagdating sa statistics natin. Yeah. So napag-usapan natin na the mean of the sample means is equal to the population mean. No? And also the standard deviation of the sample means is equal to the population standard deviation. No? So the population standard deviation divided by the square root of n will give you the standard deviation of the sample means. Try din tayo magsagot ng mga different um, problems on that. Doon sa central limit theorem, what happened to this? Due to technical problems. Sorry. So the mean of the sample means, no, and then the standard deviation of the sample means. So nakapag-discuss na tayo nito. We all have to remind ourselves na once na nakakuha tayo ng mga means natin and the standard deviation, dapat i-translate talaga natin siya sa z para makita natin yung z score niya. And if we have the finite population of size n, kasi yung assumption natin dun sa central limit theorem is if you have an infinite population. Yung infinite population na yon, ang answer doon sa sa attendance question natin is that when you have a n greater than or equal to 30, which is very infinite, para makakuha tayo or ma-assume natin ang central um, limit theorem, kailangan the distribution is normal. No? So the answer there sa attendance natin is the distribution should be normal. But if we have less than 30, no, we have to note na magkakaroon tayo ng population correction factor. So yung population correction factor natin, mag-a-add lang tayo ng term na square root of capital N minus N over N minus 1 doon sa standard deviation natin. Okay, so I think dito ako na stop last time on the sample sizes we desired 1 minus alpha um, times 100 confidence. But since hindi pa natin na-discuss yung confidence interval dito, I'm gonna skip this portion muna. No, yung sample sizes of with the desired confidence interval. Proceed ako sa standard doon sa confidence interval mismo natin, no, para pwede natin itong balikan. Okay, but this is still under the module 4. Now, para ma-understand natin or mabalikan natin to, kailangan natin i-discuss yung confidence interval. So, let's proceed to the chapter 5 or module 5 natin, no? So, this is slide set up, and then I'm gonna hide this one. So, tapos naman next. Okay, so welcome to the module 5 of the statistics class natin on the data analysis. This is the last module before our midterms. No? So, meron pa tayong next meeting and hopefully ma-cover natin and masasummarize natin yung lahat for our midterm exam next meeting. Okay? So, again, pabalik-balik to. When we say population is a set of possibly infinite of all possible observations. So, possibly infinite yung mga data natin sa population natin. Each observation is a random variable x having some often unknown probability distribution. So, meron tayong mga random variables like for example, the random variables ng mean niya, random variables ng variance niya, no? and these random variables has a probability distribution. If the population distribution is known, it might be referred to, for example, as a normal population. Automatically, kung yung distribution natin is known, it's normal population. We always assume that the population is normal. No? A sample is a subset of population, no? So, very basic idea ng population samples natin ang dinidiscuss ko dito. So, ang goal natin ngayon is to make inferences about the population based on the analysis of the sample. Yun yung ginagawa natin sa sampling distribution natin. We have the sample uh, derived from the population kasi we have to describe the population after all. And to describe the population, the big population, we have to get small samples. And yung pagkukuha natin ng samples, kinukonclude ngayon natin si population based dun sa sample natin. Okay, kasi hindi mo naman pwede, yun nga, sinabi ko yung last time, hindi mo pwedeng, o hindi mo kayang i-measure si population at all. Sobrang laki na population. No? So, kailangan magkuha ka lang ng sample mo. A biased sample, it means usually obtained by taking convenient rather than representative observations. So, ibig sabihin, kung bias ka, pinipili mo yung sample mo. Pero kung unbiased ka, ibig sabihin, may system ka para kunin yung mga samples mo. No? It's random. Systematic siya at the same time random. It's unbiased. Will consistently underestimate some characteristics of the population. So gagawin natin, kukuha tayo ng sample na unbiased. Observations in a random sample are made independently and at random. Hence, or here, random variables x sub 1, x sub 2, and x sub n in all the sample have same distribution as the population x. So, pinakamadali is we assume that the sample is the same as the population. Yung mga sample parameters natin like the mean, median, or the variance, nire-represent ni sample si population. So, any function of the random variables x sub 1, x sub 2, to x sub n, making up a random sample is called statistics. So, when you describe a sample, is ang tawag doon, statistic. No? So, yung mean, the variance, yun, mga statistics sila. So, the most important statistics, as we have seen, are the sample mean, di ba? Lagi nating dinidescribe yung sample mean, si sample variance, and the sample standard deviation. No? So, ito yung mga formula natin, no, when we get the sample mean, and then you just add each of the sample natin, and then divide by data ng sample natin, then divide by the n. Kung kukuha tayo ng variance, no, ganito naman siya. The x, the value, the data minus the mean over n minus 1. This is a sample, no, sample. Iba pa yung population variance. But mag-stick muna tayo sa sample variance. Okay, starting with the unknown population distribution, so what if hindi natin alam si population distribution, we can study the sampling distribution, kukuha natin ng sample, or the distribution of the sample statistics, like for example, the distribution of the mean, the x bar, or the distribution of the s, or the sample standard deviation, calculated from the sample of size n from that population. So the sample consists of independent and identically distributed observations based on the sampling distribution of x bar and s for sample of size n. So dapat sa sample, kailangan alam mo na kung ilan yung size mo. No? Sa sample, kailangan mo na ilan yung size mo. Dapat yung sample, kilala mo rin or alam mo rin yung x bar. Alam mo rin si standard deviation. Kasi sample lang siya, maliit lang siya ng number, kayang-kaya mo siyang i-measure. Ngayon, magagawa tayo ngayon ng conclusion about the population na dinidescribe niya. So we could approximate the sampling distribution of x bar by taking a large number of random sample of size n and plotting in the distribution of x bar values. Again, meron tayong limit ng paggamit nung kung gaano kalaki nung sample natin. If n is greater than or equal to 30, then pwede natin gamitin si central limit theorem doon. So, we have different sampling distributions, no? Gaya ng sabi ko, the most important na mga statistics natin sa sampling natin are the sample mean, sample variance, and sample standard deviation. So each one of these, meron silang mga distribution. For example, what do you call the distribution of the sample mean? No? Automatically, it's the sampling distribution. No? So sampling distribution of x bar, so we're talking about the sampling distribution of x bar or the mean when the standard deviation, no, sigma na small is known for any population distribution. Ang tawag sa kanya is normal distribution. So kung kukunin mo yung sampling distribution ng x bar at alam mo yung standard deviation ng population, ang tawag doon is normal distribution. Kung meron kang sampling distribution ng mga mean, the x bar, at hindi mo alam ang uh, population standard deviation, the sigma is unknown, ang gagamitin natin is instead of the population standard deviation, ang gagamitin natin is the sample standard deviation, which is the S. No? Magkaiba si sigma, magkaiba si S. Si sigma is the population standard deviation, the whole population itself, the standard deviation of the whole population. But yung capital S natin is the standard deviation of the sample. Yung sample lang natin na kinuha. Okay? And X bar or the the X bar is the mean of the sample, no? Mean of the sample. Pag mu lang siya, that's the mean of the population. No? Sa t-distribution, dapat population must be normal. So, kung hindi natin alam si population standard deviation at kinuha lang natin si S, which is the sample standard deviation, siya lang yung gagamitin natin instead of this population standard deviation, gagamit tayo ng t-distribution. And yung t-distribution, usually, less than 30 siya. Small sample lang. Itong normal distribution, itong sa taas, usually large sample siya ginagamit. Kasi alam mo yung uh, uh, standard deviation ng population. Pag hindi mo alam yung population standard deviation, maliit lang yung sample mo, t-distribution yung gagamitin mo. No? T-distribution is also called student distribution kasi maliit lang siya. No? Very finite. No? Pag sinabi natin yung chi-square, no, para siyang Latin letter na chi, no? Chi-square is the sampling distribution of the variance. So, dapat dito, population must be normal. Yung S squared is not a population variance, rather the sample variance. No, so kung meron tayong sampling distribution ng sample variance natin, ang tawag doon chi-square distribution. Kung i-ratio natin si dalawang chi-squared na random variables or yung dalawang variances, the ratio of two variances of two different samples. For example, meron kang dalawang samples and then each sample meron silang variances S squared. Magkaiba si S squared sa S ha. Si S squared is variance, si S lang is standard deviation. Now, si S squared mo, pag ni-ratio mo siya, magkakaroon ka ng F distribution. No, F distribution. So, si chi-square distribution, F distribution later on ma-discuss natin. But for today, di-discuss talaga natin si normal distribution pati si T distribution or the student distribution. Okay, this is just a recap on the central limit theorem. The X bar is the mean of the random sample of size n from a population with an arbitrary distribution with mean u. So the mean mu is the mean of the population. The variance sigma squared is the variance of the population when n is infinite. So automatically pag n is infinite, population talaga yung dinidescribe natin. Okay, so X bar approaches a normal distribution with mean mu and standard deviation na population's standard deviation divided by the square root of n. Okay. Central limit theorem holds under the following conditions. So ito yung mga following condition natin sa central limit theorem, which is pabalik-balik natin dinidiscuss last time. For any population distribution, if n is greater than or equal to 30, automatically central limit theorem ginagamit natin. For n less than 30, if the population distribution is generally shaped like a normal distribution, magagamit si central limit theorem sa n less than 30 if automatically describe mo na si population mo is a normal distribution. Ito yung attendance question natin. What if less than n is equal to 30? Ano dapat yung requirement mo or ano dapat yung prerequisite mo na gagamitin mo sa central limit theorem? Magagamit mo siya if ang assumption natin is the population runs in a normal distribution. Number three, for any value of n, if the population distribution is normal. No? So, kahit anong value ng n, basta yung automatically the population is normal or population distribution is normal, pwede natin gamitin si central limit theorem. So, in addition, we can make inferences about difference between two populations. So, pwedeng, yung pinanggagawa natin is just a single population. So, pwede rin tayong gumawa ng differences between two population means based on the difference between two sample means. So, kung what if meron kang dalawang population, kukunin mo yung kukunin mo yung difference ng dalawang population. For example, difference ng population ng boys and girls sa whole world, di ba? No, inaanap ito. So, daghan kaayo, no? But then what you're gonna do is you get the sample from the boys, you get the sample from the girls, and then differentiate it. Kasi gina-differentiate mo si population, i-differentiate mo rin si sample mean. No? So, pwede din gawin yun. Kung mag-difference ka ng dalawang means, central theorem will still hold. No? If independent sample of size n sub 1 and n sub 2 are drawn at random from two population, discrete or continuous, with means mu1, mu2, and variances sigma 1 squared, sigma 2 squared, then as n gets large, the sampling distribution x bar 1 minus x bar 2 approaches normal distribution. So, ganun pa rin. If normal distribution yung population mo, no, with a very large n, pag mag-minus ka ng dalawang population, normal pa rin yung distribution niya. So, this is the difference between the population two population mean. This is the difference between two population variances. So this is just an example. Suppose we record the drying time in hours of 20 samples, each of two type of paint. We have type A and type B. So meron kang paint, type A and type B. No? Sobrang dami ng paint. Ngayon, kukuha ka lang ng sample. 20 from type A, 20 from type B. Suppose we know that the population standard deviation are both equal to 1/2 hour. So, yung standard deviation ng type A, yung population standard deviation ng type A is 0.5 hour. Yung population standard deviation ng type B is 0.5 hours. And then, tagti 20 na sample kinuha natin. Assuming that the population means are equal, so ibig sabihin, lahat ng means nila magkapareha lang. No? Pero hindi naman sinabi dito kung ilan yung mean niya. What is the probability that the difference in the sample means is greater than 1/2 hour? So automatically, the probability of the difference of the sample means. So, yung population na yun, kukunin mo yung difference nila. No? So, what is the probability that the difference in the sample means is greater than 1/2 hour? So, automatically we know na the population means are equal. So, ibig sabihin, the mu A minus mu B is equal to 0 kasi equal naman sila. So, ngayon, kukunin mo yung difference ng sample mean. Yung difference ng population variance natin is 0.025, no? The variance A squared is equal to 0.25. Now, automatically si variance and standard deviation related lang ha. Si variance is square ni standard deviation. Okay? So if you have a standard deviation of 0.5, square mo si 0.5, makakakuha ka ng variance. Okay? So ito, automatic, the sigma lang, wala siyang square, the standard deviation of the population sigma is equal to 0.5. Now, square mo siya, magiging 0.25. Ganun din si B, since equal sila, the standard deviation, sample standard deviation of the type B na paint natin is 0.25. And then divide mo ng mga 20. So, you will now have 0.025. Yun si population yun si standard deviation ng all means or the variance of all means. Okay, squared pala ito. no, variance of all means. So 0.025. So once nakakuha tayo ng mean, nakakuha tayo ng standard deviation or variance, kasi ito pwede mo kasi siyang square root na lang eh, no, para makuha natin si standard deviation. I-transform mo ngayon siya kay z. So yung pag-transform mo ng z is using this formula, the sum sample, no, minus the um, population mean, sample mean, population mean, all over the square root of uh, standard deviation squared all over n. So, similar lang din siya dito. Okay? So, we now have z is equal to 3.16. So, ang hinanap natin is greater than. So, the difference, which is, ngayon, yung z natin yan is already a difference. So, the difference must be greater than the 3.16, which represents the 0.5 na hour na standard deviation, na kuha natin, standard deviation. So, z greater than 3.16 will give you 0.008, which is very unlikely to happen by chance. Sobrang liit na to na chance. So, ang chance na yung sample means nila is greater than 1/2 hour, masyadong maliit. So, maybe malaki. Malaki yung means nila, greater than 1/2 hour. So, yun. Pwede din tayong magkuha ng difference of two means. Okay? Uh, So, dinidescribe lang dito, no, yung t-distribution, f-distribution, and chi-square distribution. Um, Again, si t-distribution um, from our, parang ba to? Okay, from our definition is kung hindi natin alam si population standard deviation. So, t-distribution when the population standard deviation is unknown. The problem with the central limit theorem is that it assumes that the population standard deviation is known. Si CLT always the central limit theorem always assumes na known si population standard deviation mo. Pero if hindi available si population standard deviation mo, gagamit ka ngayon ng t-distribution. No? So if mu is being estimated from the sample and standard deviation sigma must be estimated from the sample as well, gagamit ka ng t-distribution kasi hindi mo naman alam si sigma. The t-distribution can be used if the sigma is unknown, but it requires that the original population must be normally distributed. No? Pwede ka magamit ng t-distribution mo, but we have to make sure that the population is normally distributed or in normal distribution. So let's just say x1, x2, x3 be independent, normally distributed random variables with the mu, mean mu, and standard deviation na sigma. Then the random variables t below has the t distribution with v or n minus 1 or degrees of freedom na n minus 1. No, so the t distribution is like the normal but with greater spread since both mu and the sigma have fluctuations due to sampling. So, para meron kang, kasi since kinukuha mo lang siya si sample, kinukuha mo lang siya to represent the population, dapat meron kang degrees of freedom. No? As much as possible, nagkakaroon ka ng proper representation, precise representation ng population mo. Kaya nagkakaroon ka ng degrees of freedom. So the t values is equal to x bar minus mu over s, which is the mean, the sample standard deviation over the square root of n. So using the t distribution, the t statistics is like normal, but using s rather than the population standard deviation sigma. So sa t distribution, wala kang makikitang population standard deviation. Kasi nga unknown. What if unknown is population standard deviation? So ang alam lang natin is the sample standard deviation, which is the S. Table values depends on the sample size. So depende sa degrees of freedom natin. The t distribution is symmetric with mu is equal to 0, but the sigma squared is greater than 1, as would be expected. No? So, it approaches the normal distribution when the sigma squared is equal to 1 as n gets large. For a given probability alpha, table shows the value of t alpha that has p alpha to the right of it. So, kunin niyo yung table ninyo, look at the table. It's in table A.4. A.4, critical values of T distribution. So, yung column natin sa pinaka left is the V, no? Or the degrees of freedom. And then yung sa taas natin is the alpha, no? So, later on, di-discuss natin si alpha, kung ano ibig sabihin ni alpha, no? So si alpha is siya yung nagbibigay sa ng confidence, no? Siya yung nagbibigay ng confidence sa iyo later on. So usually if n is greater than 30, S is a good enough estimator of uh, the population standard deviation, and the normal distribution is typically used instead. So yung chi-square naman, pag sinabi natin chi-square, variance naman yung tinitingnan natin, no? So from the definition of the chi-square, sampling distribution of the variance, but the population should be normal. So yung chi-square natin is about variance, no? So distribution siya ni variance of a random samples of size and taken from a normal population with known variance. Then the statistic chi-square below has a chi-square distribution with the degrees of freedom. So ito naman yung formula ng chi-square natin for each of the sample standard deviation. Or you can just use this one na formula. So chi-square table is the reverse of the normal table. Titingnan natin si chi-square nasa table 8.5. Nasa table 8.5 nung mga tables natin. That's chi-square distribution. Now, it shows the chi-squared value that has a probability alpha to the right of it. No? Since reverse siya ni normal, di ba kasi reverse ng normal, whatever we look into is to the left. Like, basta tumitingin tayo ng, for example, area under the curve, always to the left yung tinitingnan natin eh. For example, z is equal to, um, example, z is equal to 1 point, z is equal to 1.11. So, z is equal to 1.11. Ang area to the left niya is 0.5438 if you're gonna look at your table. Pero, si T distribution, chi-square distribution, and the F distribution, yung tatlong distribution na na-mention ko, ang tinitingnan niya na area to the right. It's because of this alpha, no? Alpha natin. So, if you can see table 8.4, table 8.5, table 8.6, yung alpha is yung shaded region nung right, no? Yung right. Siya si alpha mo. So, yun lang. You really have to take note, no? See to it na si T distribution, chi-square distribution, F distribution, always ang tinitingnan natin na area is to the right. So, I hope maka-adjust kayo dun na part. So, note that the chi-square distribution is not symmetric. Pag si chi-square distribution is not symmetric. Okay? Degrees of freedom, as before, you can think of these degrees of freedom as the number of independent pieces of information. We use Vn minus 1 since 1 degree of freedom is subtracted due to the fact that the sample mean is used to estimate the mu when calculating the variance. So, since nag-estimate lang tayo, kailangan meron tayong degrees of freedom na tinatawag or ini-introduce. So, mu is known, use n degrees of freedom. Pag alam natin si sample mean natin, sample mean, population mean natin, use n as degrees of freedom. Pero kung hindi mo alam yung mga population mean, population variance, population standard deviation, always ka mag-degrees of freedom. No? So yung F naman, again, yung F naman is pag kinuha mo yung ratio, it's the division, no? Ratio of the two chi-square random variables. So if divided by its number of the degrees of freedom. So if you have the variance of the first sample and the variance of the second sample, no, and N2 taken from the normal populations with variances, ito yung variances ng population natin, no? Sigma 1 squared and sigma sub 2 squared. Then the F is equal to, ito, division lang to ng dalawang chi-square na random variables natin. Here is um, the first natin na population, the second population. Actually, meron siyang, if I'm not mistaken, meron itong criteria eh, kung sino dapat sa taas. I'm gonna look for it lang. Ito. So, um, sa F distribution natin, dapat always i-assume natin na kung sino mataas na variance, kung sino yung mataas na sample variance, the S na to, S squared na to, siya yung dapat na numerator. Okay? It's a rule na always si F mo is kung sino yung mataas na variance sa dalawang population. So for example, meron kang sample variances ng dalawang population, then automatically alam mo na si S1 or alam mo na kung sino si S2. So for the F distribution table, we know that F sub 1 minus alpha of the 2V. Dalawang V to. Bakit? Kasi dalawang variances na yung ginagawa natin eh. The variance of the first sample and the variance of the second sample. So each sample has a degree of freedom. So yung V natin, V1 is the degree of freedom nung sample 1 natin. V2 is the degree of freedom of the sample 2. So kung 1 minus alpha yan, i-reciprocate mo lang para makuha mo si 1 over uh, the F of A. So note that since the ratio is inverted, the V1 and V2 are reversed. So magkakaroon din tayo ng example later part here sa F distribution. Mag-start na ako mag NS185. This is on module 5 which is estimation. So, ang gagawin, yan. So, estimating a population mean from a large sample case. So, dito na tayo magsisimula doon sa mga confidence interval natin. We want to estimate a population mean. What if we have a very large sample? You know? So, key concept here, in this section, we present methods for using sample proportion to estimate the value of population proportion. Now, the sample proportion is the best point estimate of the population proportion. So, here, kung proportion yung pinag-uusapan natin, pag kukuha tayo ng population proportion, ang best point natin na estimate is the sample proportion. Or kung kukuha tayo ng sample mean, doon natin kukunin sa kukuha tayo ng population mean, doon tayo kukuha sa sample mean natin. So, we have to define a point estimate. So, when we say a point estimate, it is a single value or point used to approximate a population parameter. No? So, yun yung mga point estimate natin. A single value or used to approximate population parameter. So, if we have a population parameter na, let's say, so, yung population natin, for example, ang mean, no? Ang population mean, which is mu. Ano yung point estimate niya sa sample? Automatically, it's x bar, no? That's the sample mean. No? So ito yung mga point estimate. No, it's a single value, so ito yung mga point estimate. Next, for example, the variance natin. Ano yung point estimate natin sa sample? Again, the variance na S, which is also the variance here. No. Variance is squared, so dapat squared siya. The sigma alone is the standard deviation of the population. Dito, we have, ang standard deviation natin is S lang. So, itong tatlong to are point estimates. Okay? It represents the population parameter. Ito yung mga population parameter natin. The mu, the sigma squared, the sigma. So, yun nga, since tinatawag silang point estimates, tinatawag din silang estimators, no? Point estimates or estimators. So, as statistics, no, yung estimator natin, itong, I think uh, this is, uh, kalimutan ko kung anong tawag dito na Latin letter. Phi hat is an unbiased estimator of the parameter theta. No. This is theta na big letter. No? Theta big letter hat is the unbiased estimator of the parameter theta. So, assuming ito lahat is is theta, or these are called uh, population parameters. So, we just assume that ito lahat is a population parameter. So, each population parameter has an unbiased estimator na big letter na theta. So ito is, it will represent, so ibig sabihin ito is the big letter na theta. This is the small theta. Note that in calculating the S squared, the reason we divide n minus 1 rather than n is so that the S squared will be an unbiased estimator for uh, the variance squared. So, isa ring way para bakit tayo nagmumultiply or nagfa-factor out ng mga n minus 1 dito sa sample natin is because of the unbiased thing. No, kailangan unbiased tayo sa estimator natin. Of all the unbiased estimators of the parameter theta, the one with the smallest variance is called the most efficient estimator of the theta. So kung sino pinakamalit na variance na nakuha mo, for example, sa population marami kang sample na kinuha, then each sample na kinuha mo meron silang mga variances. So kung sino pinakamalit na variance na nakuha mo, siya yung pinaka most efficient estimator. X bar is the most efficient estimator for the mu. So yung X bar is the mu, the S squared is for the sigma squared, S for the sigma. No. And yung the population standard deviation divided by the square root of n is the standard error for the estimator X bar. Standard error, no? So na-mention natin siya last time. The standard error is also called the standard deviation. Standard error is also called the standard deviation. So standard deviation of the means. Okay. Uh, yeah. So the sample proportion, p hat is the best. Ito naman, meron tayong p hat naman is the best point estimator for the population proportion p. So we have mu, we have variance, we have standard deviation, may p pa pala tayo, which is ang tawag dyan is proportion. Maalala niyo si P sa binomial distribution, like siya si success. Maalala niyo, siya si success. Doon sa binomial distribution natin. Tapos ang uh, ang estimator nito is the p hat. Proportion pa rin siya. Okay? So, example. Example, in a Pew Research Center poll, so yung sa poll, 70% of 1,501 randomly selected adults in the United States believe in global warming. So, the sample proportion is 0.70. So, ibig sabihin, sa sobrang dami ng tao sa United States, so the population mo dito automatically is the people or the US citizen. Ay, sobrang dami. Pati full time data niyan, basta alam natin sobrang dami. So, yung sample mo lang dito, kumuha ka lang ng randomly selected na 1,501 na mga adults. Citizen which are adults. Now, yung naniniwala sa global warming has a proportion na P star. So, ibig sabihin, yung proportion na P hat, P star, P hat pala, P hat is galing sa sample. na galing siya sa sample, is 0.7. Now, the question is very easy. Find the best point estimate of the proportion of all adults in the United States who believe in global warming. So if p hat is 0.7, automatically, if the population is normally distributed and we have to find the best estimator, ito yung best estimator natin. Therefore, the p, which is the proportion of the population, is also equal to 0.7. And p is the best estimator for of p. No? The p hat is the best estimator of p. Yun na yung sinasabi ng example na ito. No? Because the sample proportion is the best point estimate of the population proportion, we can conclude that the best point estimate of P is 0.7. When using the sample results to estimate the percentage of all adults in the United States who believe in global warming, the best estimate natin is 70%. Kasi yun si sample mo. No? So let's have a definition of the confidence interval. So sorry. So si confidence interval or the interval estimate is a range, no, range kay bali siya, or an interval of values used to estimate the true value of population parameter. No? Kasi although we have the best estimator which is the single value, meron tayong tinatawag na confidence interval. Ibig sabihin, yun yung range na confident tayo na napasok doon yung population parameter natin. No? It's a range of values used to estimate the true value of population parameter. Yung sure ka na papasok siya dyan na estimate. No? Kasi di ba minsan meron tayong mga kinukuha na confidence interval na like 95% confidence interval, 90% confidence interval, or meron tayo sa mga data natin, for example, meron sa data natin na let's say 18 plus and minus 0.5. Yung 0.5 na yan, no, is pag i-add mo sa 18, magiging 18.5, or kung i-minus mo 17.5, no? Must be 18 is 18.5. So napasok siya sa range na 17.5, 18.5. No? Yun si confidence interval, no? Kung saan siya napasok na range. So this is range. And this is what we call the confidence interval. Always the confidence interval is a range. Okay? Um, or we can just say na it's a 17.5 yeah, 17.5 i-enclose mo siya, and then 18.5 i-enclose mo. So sure ka na nandyan si 18 mo sa loob na yan, or nandyan yung value ng population parameter mo. The confidence interval is sometimes abbreviated as CI. So here is an example of a confidence interval of a population proportion parameter. Now, for example, we have 0.677 P, or less than the P, and P ano less than the P. And P is less than 0.723. Or we can just say that P is greater than 0.677 but less than 0.723. So how do you get the error for that? Sige nga, if meron tayong range na ganito, 0.677 and then 0.723, how do we get the error? Kasi ito kasi is the error. No? So that's gonna give you P positive and negative ilan? Anyway, anyone? Sino pwede makasolve ng ganito? Pila? 23. 0.23. Okay. Okay, so paano mo kinuha si 0.23? Okay. Okay. Sige, pwede try and error. But the most convenient way para makuha mo si error is you get the difference. So the error here is equal to the difference between the two. So that's 0.723 minus 0.677 divided by 2. No? That will give you 0.023. So, i-represent natin siya. Pwede natin siyang i-represent ng ganito. Pwede din natin siyang i-represent. Sorry. Pwede din natin siyang i-represent ng uh, 0.677 less than P less than 0.723. So, yung error natin is 0.023. Kasi we know na si P, for example, you have a P here, ang distance niyan, papunta kay um, 0.723, and then yung distance niya, papunta kay 0.677. Parang ganun si error. So, ito yung si error. Yung distance niya here. So, napapagitnaan mo si P ngayon. And to get that, you get the difference and then i-divide 2 mo. Kasi dalawang error yung napapalob sa'yo. So interpreting a confidence interval, we must be careful to interpret confidence intervals correctly. There is a correct interpretation and many different and creative incorrect interpretation of the confidence interval. P greater than A, less than B. No? Typically, we interpret the 95% confidence interval as the follows. So, ano ibig sabihin na pag sinabi natin 95% confidence interval? No? We are 95% confident that the interval from A to B actually does contain the true value of the population proportion P. No? Ibig sabihin, confident tayo. Meron tayong parang confident tayo. Sa Tagalog, confident. Ano? Parang malakas yung chance natin, no? Malakas yung loob natin na from A to B, andun yung hinahanap natin, no? So dito sa example natin, malakas yung loob natin na si P napapaloob talaga siya ng 0.677 and 0.2723, no? So syempre mas malakas yung loob mo pag sinabi mong 99% confident ka, no? So probably ang mangyayari pag magna 99% confident ka, magna-narrow siya, no? Magna-narrow. So ibig sabihin from yung error natin must be less than, no? So if tataas yung CI mo, the confidence interval mo, there is a big chance na magna-narrow si uh, the interval mo. Mag-narrow ng ang interval mo, at the same time liliit si error. No, kasi 99% confident ka na eh. So parang um, mas maliit yung alam mo na chance na nandun, parang mas maliit yung interval na lang. Pag nakuha mo yung maliit na interval na yun, okay, confident na ako 99%. Andyan yung population proportion ko or population parameter ko. Kasi pinaliit mo na eh. Pinaliit mo na yung interval. Pero kung sobrang laki ng interval, like mga 50% or let's say 70% confident ka, sobrang laki pa ng interval mo. Na malaki talagang chance na papasok siya diyan kasi sobrang laki pa ng interval mo. Pero ang tanong, confident ka ba? Okay? 70% hindi siya ganun kaklaseng confident. So, pagdating sa mga test natin, no, sa thesis natin, dapat we always assume na we are confident with that answer na it represents the whole population. Pag may population ka, gusto mong i-test for example um, ang effectivity ng machine mo para sa or sa ang effectivity ng machine mo, kailangan i-represent the population, no? So yung test ng mga nakuha mo dapat 95% confident ka. Kasi kung gagamitin, confident ka na mag-work siya sa population. Okay? This means that if we were to select many different samples of the same size and construct the corresponding confidence intervals, 95% of them would actually contain the value of the population proportion P. No, so 95% ka confident. Note that in this correct interpretation, the levels of 95% refers to the success rate. Always 95% is the success rate. Therefore, ilan yung failure rate mo? 5%. No? So 5% lang yung chance na hindi siya papasok doon. Okay? So kung 99% confident ka, 1% lang yung chance na hindi papasok yung proportion mo or yung parameter mo doon sa nilagay mong confidence interval. For example, if we calculate the 95% confidence interval of 20 different samples of population, so you have a large population, kumuha ka lang ng samples mo na 20, 95% confidence ka. We expect that 95% of the 20 samples or 19 samples, kasi 19 samples naman yung 95%, or the 19 samples would have confidence interval that contains the true value of P. No? If 95% confident ka and then you have 20 samples, sure ka dun sa 19. Sure ka talaga dun sa 19 na yung 19 na yon contains the true value of P. No? Suppose we know the true proportion of all the adults who believe in global warming. So, pareha dun sa example natin kanina, we have, suppose na we know the true proportions, alam natin yung population proportion natin na 0.75. Ibig sabihin, 0.75% ng mga adult naniniwala sa global warming, 25% yung hindi naniniwala sa global warming. That represents the population. With 95% confidence interval, if we sample 20 times, no? 20 yung nag-sample tayo ng 20 times ng mga tao, we may compute the confidence interval which does not actually contain the P is equal to 0.75 such that yung P natin napapaloob siya sa 0.677, 0.723. No? So, but 19 times of 20, we would find a confidence interval that do contain 0.75. No? This is illustrated in the figure below. For example, here, no, if the population parameter P or population proportion P is 0.75, ang 19 napasok kasi 95% confident ka. Pero merong nag-iisa na hindi siya napasok, which is andito siya na interval. That's 0.677, 0.23, 723. So 0.677, ito 0.677 hanggang 0.723. Nag-iisa lang yung hindi pumasok. So ito yung interval na hindi ka pumasok. No? But yung interval na pumasok ka, probably here. From here, 0.71 papuntang 0.79. Ganun. So, confident ka doon. 19, confident ka sa 19 katao, pero yung isa, hindi ka lang confident. It's 95% lang. Hindi perfect yung confidence mo. So, know the correct interpretation of the confidence interval. Kailangan meron tayong alam. So, we will learn now, discuss how to construct confidence intervals from a sample statistics. No? So, paano tayo gagawa ng confidence interval natin? No, kasi ang alam lang natin, given, okay, 95% confidence interval, okay, 90% confidence interval. Pero, if given tayo ng statistics, given tayo ng sample, ng Z, ng variance, paano tayo kukuha ng confidence interval natin? A standard Z-score can be used to distinguish between sample statistics that are likely to occur and those that are unlikely to occur. No? So, ibig sabihin yung Z-score, yun yung makakatulong sa atin para kumuha ng confidence interval. Si Z-score pala. No? Such a Z-score is called the critical value. No? So, ang kinukuha natin sa Z distribution, no, or the standard normal distribution natin is the critical value. Ano yung critical value natin? No? So this is how you're gonna get the confidence interval. You're gonna get it from the critical value. Once na nakuha mo si critical value, which is the Z-score, no, automatic makakakuha ka na ng confidence interval mo. Critical values are based on the following observations. Under certain conditions, the sampling distribution of sample proportion can be approximated by normal distribution. No? So automatically, si Z dapat normally distributed siya. So, critical values, we define critical values as a Z-score of Z. So, ito yung critical values natin. So, critical values is defined as the Z alpha all over 2. No? Associated with the sample proportion has a probability of alpha all over 2 of falling in the right tail. Ibig sabihin, yung alpha over 2, no, is on the right tail. Therefore, to find Z alpha all over 2, find the Z-score in the table that corresponds to the area of 1 minus alpha all over 2. Kasi si Z ito is associated with the proportion falling to the right, no? Z score is falling to the right of Z distribution. So para makuha natin si value ng Z alpha over 2, you find the Z score. So Z score hinahanap natin ha. Hinahanap natin si Z score with area of 1 minus alpha all over 2. So, hahanapin natin yung area sa table natin na may 1 minus alpha all over 2. Then, hahanapin natin si z-score. Okay. Kukunin muna natin si area ng 1 minus alpha all over 2. Then, hahanapin natin siya kay z-score. Hanapin natin ang z-score niya. For example, here, find the critical value for alpha 0.10. So alpha is 0.10. So first thing to do is A, you perform this one, no? The alpha all over 2. So alpha all over 2 is equal to 0.10 divided by 2. This is 0.05. Now, second is you find the area of the 1 minus alpha all over 2, no? So the area for that, the 1 minus alpha all over 2 is ilan to? 1 minus alpha over 2, 1 minus 0.05. So the area is 0.95. So yung area mo na 0.95, hahanapin mo ngayon sa Z. Sige nga. Just wait. Di ba usually ang ginagawa natin sa D-distribution or sa Z-score natin is meron tayong Z na available, no? Usually ginagawa natin before, we have Z na available, then kinukuha natin si area to the left. No? Now, ang gagawin natin, you have an area to the left, kukunin natin si Z. Baliktarin natin. So, yung 1 minus alpha all over 2 is the area to the left of 1 minus. Yan yung area to the left. Sige nga, punta kayo sa Z ninyo, Z table natin. What is the value of Z? So, letter C na ngayon. Yung step C natin is find Z with A is equal to 0.95. Sige nga, hanapin nyo si Z. Nasa table, um, 8.3, hanapin natin yung 0.95. Saan siya napagitna? Napagitna kay, anong gitna mo? Z, we assume Z1 is equal to, or ZA na lang. Napagitna siya kay, anong Z? Look at your table, 1.65. Very good. So, 1.65, ang isang Z mo, or the lower Z na lang, kasi dalawang Z, napagitna siya. The 1.65 is nandito, sa pangalawa. The other one is, natoy, napagitna siya sa 1.65 og, very good, 1.64. Okay? So, si 1.64 na Z, it has an area of 0.9495. Si 1.65 na Z, it has an area of 0.9505. Then do the interpolation. Okay, so now letter D pala is interpolate. So, makakakuha ka ngayon ng value ng Z of alpha all over 2, or Z, ang alpha natin is 0.5, 0.10, 0.05. So, pila ang Z critical value of na 0.05? 1.645. No, i-interpolate mo lang to. What is the value of Z when A is equal to 0.95? Then the answer for the critical value for this is 1.645. Again, the critical value na Z sub alpha all over 2 is the number on the borderline separating sample statistics that are likely to occur from those that are unlikely to occur. So ito pala, no, the critical value separates the likely and the unlikely, no? So kung meron kang Z distribution, and then nahanap mo si Z, no, this is 0, mga dito si Z, 1.645, the region here is the likely or the success. Ang region na nandito is automatically siya si failure. Therefore, si region na nandito, no, is the failure, which is the alpha. No? Makikita natin yan dito sa pinakataas ng Z. Pagpatuloy ko na lang yung discussion ko. Because the standard normal distribution is symmetric about the value of Z is equal to 0. So, as kasi symmetric siya, no? The value of negative Z alpha all over 2 is at the vertical boundary for the area of alpha all over 2 in the left tail. So, ibig sabihin, meron din tayong sa left tail natin. So, here, may failure din tayo dito. May failure ka dito. Here, may failure ka rin dito. So, at this is negative 1.645. Kaya naka-divide 2 ka dun sa alpha mo. So, this is alpha. Sorry. So, the region here is alpha. Ang region dito is alpha all over 2. Ang region dito is alpha all over 2. No? So, the both regions, i-add mo, magiging alpha. So, yung alpha, yung hindi ka sure. No? So, kung sa 95, masasabi natin na kung if you have the distribution na Z, yan, assuming normal siya, yung 95% na yon, ang area na shaded mo, na success mo, is 95%. And ito, tag 25, 2.5%, tag 2.5% ang green or yung failure mo. This is 2.5, ano, pilat ba to? Ang question is 10% lang pala, sorry. So, this is the 5%, this is the 5%, this is 90%. Okay, this is 90%. Ito yung success mo. Ito yung fail mo. 5% magkabilaan, 5%. Okay, so ito yung sinasabi ko dito sa drawing na to. If you find the critical value, itong Z alpha all over 2, sa right side na tail is alpha all over 2 na region, and then sa PICAS is alpha all over 2 na region, which is nahanap mo at negative Z. So, i-negative mo lang si critical value. Kaya nga, ginawa ko na 1.645 dito, dito, negative 1.645. I-negative mo lang. So, yung Z na yun, nahanap lahat um, sa Z table. Tingnan natin si 1.16, negative 1.64. Negative 1.6 and then negative um, yung negative natin na value, no? Automatically we're looking at the 5%. So ito yung 5% na area. Kasi nasa Z table pa tayo eh. Sa Z table, automatically we're always looking at the right. So, ang right ng negative 1.645 ito is 5%. So, 5% ito. 5% ito. Ang sa left niya, 5% ulit ito. No, that's 1 minus the 90%. 1 minus the, ang area is 0.95. Kasi babawasan pa to ng 5% eh. So, kung babawasan mo ng 5% yung 0.95, 90 na lang. So, tama, 90 nga yung confidence interval mo. So, yung confidence level is the probability 1 minus alpha. So, yung 1 minus alpha natin is the confidence level. Yung area na yun. Orange. So, yung area na to, the area is what we call the confidence level. So, yung mga confidence level natin is the area pala dun sa z-score. No? That confidence interval actually does contain the population parameter, assuming that the estimation process is repeated a large number of times. No? So the confidence level is also called degree of confidence or confidence coefficient. No, nakikita siya as an area dun sa z-score mo o z-distribution mo. So common choices for confidence level are, so kung say 90% confident ka or 90% confidence level, your alpha is 10%. No? If 95 ka, automatically ang alpha mo is 5% and your 99% level. Actually nasa book, kahit saan nyo to tingnan na book, meron kayong makikita na table that will look like this. So, yung 90% na confidence level mo, CL ko na lang, means confidence level. Ang alpha niyan, so for example, this confidence level, no? Kung 90% ka, ang alpha niyan automatically 10%. Ang alpha all over 2 niya automatically um, ano, 10% or 0.1. And then ang alpha all over 2 niya is 0.05. And ang z, kung hahanapin mo, is automatically 1.645, gaya ng hinanap natin. Next, if 95% ka, ang alpha mo is 0.05, and then ang alpha all over 2 mo is 0.025, and then kung hanapin natin siya sa z-score, makikita natin siya at 1.96. If 99% confident ka, 0.01 si alpha, 0.005 si alpha all over 2, at makikita mo siya sa z na 2.58. No? So, at z, negative z, alpha all over 2, automatically i-negative mo lang, makikita mo sa 1, negative 1.645, yung other end, negative 1.96 sa left, and then negative 2.58 sa left. So, ito, tandaan nyo na lang to. So, confidence level for the standard normal distribution, a confidence level of P percent, like P 90%, 95, 99, corresponds to P percent of the area. We're always looking at the area. No? So, the confidence level is the area. Between the values z, negative z, alpha all over 2 to z, alpha all over 2. For example, if you have a alpha na 5%, so si alpha is somehow represents the failure, no? So si alpha, which is the failure here, if alpha is equal to 5%, the confidence level is 0.05, which is 95%, which gives the z-score of 1.96, no? Kung 95 tayo, 1.96. Okay. And 95% of the area lies between negative 1.96 to 1.96. So this is the example of the 95% level confidence level. Ibig sabihin niyan, ang shaded area mo is 95%. And then 5% yung the green shade is 95%, ang pink shade or red shade here is 5%. Tig 25%, tig 2.5% sila. 2.5% here, 2.5% here. So as here, if nasa Z-score siya. So ito yung sinasabi natin confidence interval, confidence level natin. Okay, so ang confidence level natin is 95%. The confidence interval is the from negative 1.26 to 1.26 na Z. So from that critical values, makakakuha tayo ng confidence interval. Again, sila si critical values mo. Okay? Um, Sige, mamaya balikan natin 'to. Sige, parang kaya pa. So, estimation of population mean, no? So, marunong na tayo sa confidence interval. Ngayon mag-estimate tayo ng population parameter, mean, variance, standard deviation, depende ngayon kung gaano tayo ka-confident na nandun sila. No, mag-estimate tayo ngayon. So when we use X bar to estimate the population mean, we don't expect the estimate to be exact, no? We don't expect estimate to be exact. Rather, a confidence interval is done, or no? Or confidence interval is should be created, no? It is a statement that we are 100 times 1 minus alpha percent confident that the mu lies between the specified limit. That the parameter or population mu or the population mean nandun siya sa limit na yon. So if x bar is the mean of the random sample of size n from a population with known variance. So dito known ang variance natin, the population variance sigma squared. Then ang range natin uh, is the, so ilagay ko estimation of the population mean, no? So estimation of population mean, yung population mean natin daw is nasa gitna siya, or yeah, mas maliit siya kay x bar. Si x bar natin is the sample mean, which is kayang-kaya nating kunin kasi it's sample, plus the critical value, the population variance all over square root of n, no? So diyan napapabilong si mu mo, and greater than, the mu is greater than x bar minus z alpha all over 2 sigma square root of n. So ito yung so dito na papaloob yung range nung mu mo or the population. mean natin. Ibig sabihin, these quantities, yung mga z, alpha, n minus 2, n, z sub alpha all over 2 times the sigma square root of n is the error. No? Is the error. So, if, so this range is 100% confidence interval for mu. So, this is the confidence interval. The whole term now is the confidence interval. Here, the z sub alpha all over 2 is the z value with the area alpha all over 2 to the right. No? So, hinanap natin siya sa z-score. For example, for a 95% confidence interval, alpha is 0.05 and z is alpha all over 2 is 1.96. If the population not normal, this is still okay if n greater than or equal to 30. No? So, kung hindi normal si population natin or kung hindi sinabi na normal si population, dapat yung number of samples natin is n greater than or equal to 30 para mag-central limit theorem pa rin siya. No? Pero kung hindi sinabi na n greater than or equal to 30, always dapat si population natin is not normal. Ano, yun nga, pag hindi sinabi na, or pag hindi greater than 30, like for example, 18, 20, dapat automatically si population is assumed as normal. So if x bar is used as an estimate for mu, we can be 100 times 1 minus alpha percent confident that the error of the estimate e will not exceed e. The error is z alpha all over 2 sigma all over square root of n. So ito yung error. So ito yung point estimate natin, no? Sinabi natin kanina na, okay, the best point estimate of the population mean is the sample mean. But then, we still have an error for that, no? Kung gaano tayo ka-confident. So, yun nga, sa sinabi ko, if masyado tayong confident, like for example, 99% na confident tayo, what happens to the Z? The Z becomes large. No? So, yung error natin here, yeah, tama. The Z become large. It is possible to calculate the value of n necessary to achieve an error of size e. So, we can be 100 times 1 minus a percent confident that the error will not exceed e when the absolute value of n is equal to z alpha over 2 uh, um, sigma divided by e. So, ang gagawin natin dito, i-rearrange mo lang yan siya para makuha mo si n. So, ito yung how many number of samples ang kailangan mo for this kind of z, for this kind of confidence interval. So, kung sample, meron kang population, tapos ang kunin mo is 95% confidence interval, ilan yung sample na kukunin mo? So, ito yung formula na gagawin natin. Given na meron kang error na kailangan ma-achieve, and then you have a z, ilang percent ka confident, you have the variance, standard deviation pala, makakuha mo si number of samples. Sometimes, instead of confidence interval, we're only interested in a bound in a single direction. Um, in this case, the confidence interval bound uses z alpha in the appropriate direction rather than z alpha over 2. So ito kung one-sided confidence interval bounds lang tayo, no? Ibig sabihin tatanggalin natin yung sa left. So the 1 minus alpha confidence interval bound would be either mu is greater than z alpha here sigma all over n, or mu must be less than z x bar plus z alpha sigma all over square root of n. This is only one-sided confidence interval, no? Depending upon the direction of interest. Depende sa hinihingi. Okay, so let's have an example for this estimation of mu natin. So, last example before tayo mag-end dito. So, suppose that the X bar is 12,000, no? So, sa X bar siya si sample mean, automatically, no? So, suppose that the sample mean is 12,000, no, which is the the starting salary, mean starting salary of 36 faculty members with a standard deviation of S is equal to 400. Construct a 95% confidence interval for the population mean starting salary based on the sample information. Okay? So, ang sample natin, we have a X bar, no? And then your N is equal, X bar is equal to 12,000. That's the sample mean. X bar is 36. And the standard deviation S is equal to 400. No? Then we have to construct, okay, so we have to construct the confidence interval for the population mean starting salary based on the sample information. Ang nangyayari dito is this sample must represent the population. No? Must represent the population. So we have to get the mu. But mu is given in a confidence interval. So dapat ganito yung sagot natin, whatever the alpha A and B here. No? We have to get here. And then ang confidence level natin is 95%. No? So we have to get the CI, the CI, the confidence interval. For the population mean, starting salary based on the sample need. So yung ginawa natin kanina, pinakita natin dito, this will only happen if the variance is given. No? A given variance, given standard deviation. No? So meron tayong standard deviation. What if hindi tayo binigyan ng standard deviation? Pag hindi tayo okay, itong given na standard deviation, no, automatically we assume na um, normal si distribution mo. No? Pero kung hindi tayo binigyan ng variance sa population mo, wala tayong variance, unknown si variance, dapat si n mo must be greater than 30. Okay. So is n greater than or equal to 30? Yes. So we can use the CLT or the central limit theorem. No? So ibig sabihin, if n is greater than 30, we can assume mu is equal to S. If n is equal to is greater than or equal to 30, mu is equal to S. Automatically, we can say that the mu is less than X bar plus the Z alpha all over 2. Instead of putting sigma, gagawin natin S. Kasi wala tayong sigma eh. S lang yung gagamitin natin. Makagamit lang tayo ng S pang N is greater than or equal 30. Pero kung wala kang uh, pag less than n, dapat automatically si population is a normally distributed. No, para magamit mo si S. So that's S over square root of n. Sa kabila, must be x bar minus z alpha all over 2 s square root of n. Okay? So, alpha, yung solution natin dito, we say alpha 95%. So alpha is 5% or 0.05. Alpha all over 2 is equal to 0.025. Therefore, the z, pinakita ko na rin sa 95%, the z is 1.96. No? So, the z of the 0.025 is equal to 1.96. Okay, so plug in lang natin here for this term, the x bar minus z alpha all over 2 s square root of n, we have X bar is 12,000 minus Z, 1.96. S is 400 over square root of 36. 36 is N natin, so that will give you 11,869.33. And then sa kabila, X bar plus the Z alpha all over 2 S square root of N, that will give you 12,000 plus 1.96, that's plus the error, which is equal to um, 12,130.67. Therefore, 95% confident ka ng ang mean ng whole population, lahat ng faculty, whole population of faculty is na belong ani na interval. So, ibig sabihin, the mean must be inside 12, less than 12,130.67 but greater than 11,869.33. Yung given lang sa atin is the mean of the sample. Nag-sample ka lang ng 36, nakita mo na 12,000. Ngayon gusto mong tingnan ang whole population. So ito yung mean ng whole population at 95% confidence interval. Okay, so next meeting, pagpatuloy natin to, which will be the last meeting um, para dun sa midterms natin, no? Anyway, malapit na rin naman tayo matapos. So, thank you very much for coming to the class. Just wait um, ano yan, for the question attendance na ipopost ko. Do you have any question?